Sean, today, your Wrath of Sean is Jeudy Shedeur Sanders on the sideline getting after it. And I'm going to let you go, and then I'll give my opinion on it.
No, go ahead, Sigs.
They're going at it.
Tell me what you feel. I want to hear what you think. I do.
I don't mind a veteran getting on a rookie about something that he feels passionate about. And I love the fact that Shedeur stood up and said, no, this is what I see, and this is what you should be doing. I actually like this. I know everybody's trying to tear Jeudy down for it, but if you're a young player, what's better than a veteran coming up to you saying, hey, no, this is how we do it. This is this route or whatever they're yelling at each other about. And then I like the rookie standing up and saying, hold on. I ain't got a problem with you coming at me, but this is what I see. This is why I'm doing it this way. And this is what, I was told by the coach or whoever of how we do it. So I honestly didn't have a problem with any of this. And I like it from both sides, in my opinion.
I love passion, Jeudy's passion. I think it's sometimes from a distance, we make it look like he was yelling at him, telling him, you suck, and you got to do what we do. That he was informing him that it looked like it was a Shedeur fault, nobody else's, right? That's I think, the presence of, what's Jerry Jeudy talking about? It's I guess what I'm saying, it felt too animated to some, right? So I have zero problem. If people knew what was set up and down those sidelines that you don't see,
right,
or they just see or heard, you'd be shocked. It's how quickly you get over it, can move on from it, and who's thick-skinned enough to be able to get in somebody's face and you take it, and then when to say enough's enough, move on. Now, I like that 55 jumped in there and said, enough, dude, keep moving.
Right.
You said your piece, keep it. That tells me they're defending their guy. I'm all for it.
And that is.
I don't have a problem with the passion.
Who's been their center for years.
That's right. And he's like, okay, enough, man. You've said enough. Now get on. You don't need to belabor this point. Get your ass moving. My only issue with this, Segs, now if this is Cooper Kupp or this is Justin Jefferson going to Brosmer over the weekend, or even J.J. McCarthy, if he is playing. Open 2 ears and 1 mouth, young quarterback. I watch Chris Carter do this regularly, veteran and rookie. And you know why it was okay? Because when Chris spoke, Chris was not going to go out and do anything he didn't tell you were going to get done, because he performed on the field, off the field. So there was respect that came in, that you didn't take it personal. You're going back and forth. They had plenty of disagreements, but the optics didn't matter. Why? Because the Hall of Famer's telling you this, because he sees it. So there's a respect, kind of like when Rodgers says it as opposed to Tua. We're taking Rodgers and Tua gets blamed. They're like, what are you doing, dude?
Right,
you don't have enough elbow grease in this thing to be able to say that. In this case, my only issue is Jerry Jeudy's worrying about more. Now, if they're communicating, dude, I'm running this 15-yard dig route and you got to throw the ball on time, I get it. And Shedeur can also say, well, dude, if you're running a 15-yard dig route, don't break it at 12, don't roll it to 17, 15, friggin' 15. They go back and forth. Rookie quarterback. This was one of my favorite things, because I love the fact that Shedeur finally stood up and said, okay, dude, here's what I'm telling you. And one of my favorite things about the game, he didn't do, they throw a lot of underneath stuff, didn't really have a chance. He made a couple poor decisions, made a couple good plays. They got their ass handed to them. They weren't any good. Yeah. But it tells me the leadership that Shedeur, even through the struggles, there's a leadership quality that he has, which I like. The only thing with Jerry Jeudy is, dude, can't line up offsides. You can't, when you catch a ball 2 weeks ago, dick around and all of a sudden, because you're being casual, guy strips it. You can't drop balls in your hands. If you're going to be this guy who's going to be this animated, because the whole world's looking at you, wave your arms. You know what they're thinking? The hell's Jerry Jeudy ripping into a rookie quarterback? Maybe he needs to soft sell it. And some guys are fragile and need soft sold and an arm run. And some guys need a foot there. I can take you putting a foot in my ass because, well, I've seen it before. Some others can't. In this case, I think Shedeur can handle it. He jumped back up. His lineman jumps up. Good. It's a disagreement. Move on. But for Jerry Jeudy, one thing I would say to Jerry Jeudy, I love the energy. I get the passion with you two young guys. One's been in the league a little longer. One's new. The passion, the communication. Better to have this than nobody talking shit at all. So I don't know what's going on. I'd like you to communicate. But the optics of it are poor, and here's why. Because Jerry Jeudy doesn't finish all the time, and that's a problem. Jerry Judy's had some. He's a Dow Joneser. Yep. So if you're going to do it, I don't mind the leader. You don't have to be the best player to be a leader. But if you're going to tell somebody to get something done, don't get mad when I come back at you and say, yeah, dude, but you know what? We got 3 drops today. We wouldn't have been in the situation you're talking about if you squeeze that football or whatever. So I love the passion. That part doesn't bother me. I don't give a shit about the optics, what the fan in the 8th row thinks. But depending on what's said here, get over it quickly, your teammates, and move on, communicate. The big fella, step up and defend your quarterback. That's exactly what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
But in the process, Jerry, if you're going to teach it and preach it, you also got to live it on the field by making smart football decisions on time and doing it the right way.
The other thing I pointed out on Twitter too about this is when you look at this picture that's up on the screen right now, look at the quarter and the time. And this happened right at the end of the third quarter. And I'm not sticking up for Jerry Jeudy because I agree 100%.
But it's a two-score game, Segs. Just a two-score game.
Two-score game. But what if this is something that Jerry Judy's came at him twice about in the first two quarters softly and said, hey, this. And second quarter, hey, again, this. And then third time, now you come to the sideline as a veteran, as a wide receiver. Okay, now it's time to let the young guy know, like, this is what I said, and you're still doing this, and it's costing us. I get it. So that's where I'm coming at it. Hey, maybe I'm wrong, but I just
no, you're not wrong because you don't,
like,
and we don't know the conversation.
Right.
It may. What if the same that Shedeur? I don't know Shedeur or Jeudy. If it was going the other way, I'd say the same thing.
Right.
What if, like you said, you put your arm around him as you're coming off the field? Hey, man, the adjustment on this is this, and you've told him twice, and it's costing you. Then the third time, the emotion, shit. If I wanted to, if this ain't a library, I need you to communicate. If you're thin-skinned, then you're in the wrong sport anyway.
Right.
But the optics, oh my gosh, you're arguing. Stop it. But if he told him in soft, so that's what we don't know. That's why I'm always skeptical. How deep can I take this conversation? Right. Because it may have been. Listen, if you tell your kid to show up on time, the first time you're not going to the dance. The second time I'm taking your phone away. The third time, guess what? The third time I'm taking you out of sports or whatever it is that you're going to punish your kid. Yeah. And it has to be a little more. And listen, I know everybody says, "Oh, just give him a timeout." Your dog, pees on the floor after it's not a puppy anymore just because it got lazy, and then does it again. Then the next time, you're probably going to give him a little pat on the rear end and say, "Listen, we're going outside. You're staying outside a little longer until you go." Well, here in this case, in sports related, if he told him a bunch of times, at some point in time, you may have to change the decibel and the animated part of it to get your point across.
Right.
I'm okay with that. It's football. It's just, what was the point of conversation? But I do like the fact that Shedeur just didn't sit there, take it, stand up and get back in it.
I do too.
The optics may look, and the lineman, and then go about your business. And the key here is, more than anything, is what's next. How did it affect going forward? What's next? But people that are all mad when players argue on the sideline and coaches, if you don't know, you never will, because I got news for you. Stuff like this happens all the time. It's just when the camera picks it up, somebody's got to be in the wrong. Hell, they may have both, after that, off camera, laughed their ass off. Who knows? Yeah. I'm just saying, it was animated, and animated means it's wrong. Animated doesn't always mean wrong, man. Passion's a good thing. And I'd like Jerry Jeudy to play with more passion, and I'm okay with that.
Yes, 100% agree. He's got to, as someone said here, Jared, walk that walk. You got to walk it, and I agree with that. He's been a disappointment for as good as he was at Alabama. He's got to show up every Sunday.
You know what happens, Segs, too, when you walk it? Is like, when you've walked it or continue to walk it, then we allow you that latitude. Sure, because we know you're going to go out and do your gig. But the first thing, put it this way, I can promise you right now, give me a veteran receiver that's played in the last few years. If that was who's Alabama receiver? What's that?
I was going to say Devontae Adams.
Who was in Cleveland for the Dallas receiver, former first-round pick from Alabama, who was in Cleveland?
Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Amari Cooper. If that was Amari Cooper at this stage of his career, nobody'd have a problem with it. You know what they'd say? Amari shows up, runs the right route, plays his ass off, and he's just letting Shedeur know. And Shedeur and the offensive lineman probably wouldn't have stood up. He'd have sat there and let it go, because we're having banter. I think it's the fact that one doesn't walk it enough. The other's a rookie. Then the optics just wrong. But the conversation may have been something moving forward that's going to help this group get better. I don't have a problem with the passion at all. And I sure as hell don't have a problem with somebody cussing out or getting after it. And the fact that Shedeur finally stood up and said, no, here's how we're doing it, because this is what I see. That's what good leadership is. You don't always have to be right. You just have to walk it.
And the other thing was, too, it's not like they're in each other's faces just screaming, obscenities and shit like that. No, they're pointing.
Somebody thinks they're going to get in a fist fight.
Yeah, they're pointing at the pad saying, no, they're clearly talking about football. And that's where I think it's okay. It's okay to have a discussion. And if it's been said a few times and maybe my point's not getting across, well, I'm going to give you my point. And then if you want to give your point, yeah, fine.
And if you notice, what the big fella do? Let him get his point across a couple times. Then finally said, okay, you don't need to beat this down. Let's keep it moving, right? Got it in. And okay, now let's soak it in and move forward and get over it. They'll get over it. Jerry, but he'll get more respect on the outside from the optics when he's walking it all the time and playing like he did at Alabama on a consistent basis. Hence why he's still not in Denver.